Hello everyone! I thought I would take a moment to explain this little project I've been working on. Okay, so story time. Growing up, I never really got into Final Fantasy. I played RPGs, but mostly Western ones, and when I did see anything from Final Fantasy, I thought some of the art design was a bit weird, and it was still a bit much for me to enjoy. I know that sounds bad, but I grew up in a time where it just wasn't easy to find information about video games. You had to judge by the looks of the box and maybe a weekend with a rental. Not many people had magazine subscriptions for this kind of thing, or I didn't have any friends that did anyway. Ultimately, this led to me not being very interested in the series, and later when I did have friends who were into the franchise, it was kind of on the PlayStation era, and I was a Nintendo guy, so I never owned those consoles, and I didn't have a lot of chances to try the games out. Now, fast forward to today, and the games are much more available. I can find them on Steam, you know. I don't really have an excuse to not play them anymore if I wanted to. Still, I haven't been that enthusiastic about the series. That is to stay until one bored evening, I decided to try out Final Fantasy XIV on a whim. I had heard, it was a pretty good MMO, and while I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, I am a huge MMO guy. I genuinely had a great time with Final Fantasy XIV, but I kept running into one small issue. While 14 has its own developed storyline, the whole game is just dripping with references, and there's so many of them. A good example is the Sigmascape instance. Please look that one up. There's some videos on it that show you the references side by side, and they're pretty cool. Now, it isn't necessary to get the references, but there's so much more to enjoy when you do know. I kept feeling like I was missing something. And ultimately, I felt it was time to just bite the bullet and dive deep into the franchise. So, I'll be playing through, or trying to, all of the mainline Final Fantasy games. I'm excited, but a little nervous. It's a long list of games, and people are, how shall I say, sometimes a little sensitive about these games. These games are, important to a lot of people. A lot of people grew up on these games, and some of them they're their favorite games of all time. So I'm a little worried that I'll upset somebody if I don't like a particular character or game, but it's gonna happen. I can't help that. Oh gosh, heck, some of these games have many versions, and I'm sure someone will be unhappy with which particular version I pick. I do hope that people do stick around and watch me and enjoy, hopefully, a new fan of the series. My total experience with these games is very little. Played through a good portion of Final Fantasy I on the Nintendo Entertainment System about, I don't know, at least 12 years ago, maybe 14. I never got to finish it though. And other than that, just, 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a friend's house maybe. These will be pretty much blind runs, and I won't be using a walkthrough unless I get absolutely and completely stuck. I don't want to spend, many episodes in the same part of a game, that's not fun for anybody. So if I get absolutely stuck, I'll ask a friend for some help, guide me on my way. Speaking with a good friend, I decided to play the first 4 games on PSP. Those versions look pretty good, and I don't have any experience with anything on the PSP, so it'll be completely new to me. 5 and 6, I think I'll do the Game Boy Advance versions. With some restoration mods, there was a couple I saw improve the sound, restore some of the colors, because I saw the colors were highly saturated because of the Game Boy Advance, how it displays colors. I don't know, some of them looked kind of bad, so I think it might be an improvement. And from then on, I think I can just get PC versions of everything on Steam. It should be good to go. So, I think this intro is long enough, and I'm really excited to begin this series, and I hope you guys enjoy.